And we're live. Smarter San Diego, Derrick Evans here, looking to help veterans always, 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 always. And of course, career opportunities. It's been, 2020 was a tough year for a lot of people. And I hate it when I hear some of the bad stories out there about people who are having trouble with work, having trouble finding career opportunities. And you know what? We should do this anyway to provide just knowledge about what's out there for veterans. Amy Richards is joining us today. She's the program manager with the Vets Community Connections here in San Diego. Amy, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me, Derrick. I appreciate it.
It's great to have you here. So, first of all, tell us, what is Vets Community Connections?
So, Vets Community Connections, also known as VCC, is ultimately the bridge and network between the military veteran community to the civilian community of San Diego. We are your networker who works to provide you those connections. If you're whether you're an active duty family or member or a veteran family, and you are looking for ways to enhance your lifestyle here in San Diego, we can connect you to exclusive business discounts that we've coordinated. It could be raising awareness about career and educational opportunities in San Diego. We even have access to youth athletic scholarships for youth sports. So there's a wealth of opportunity out there. And what we do is we truly work to uncover that and then have it available if somebody has a request or a need for something to be, a way to enhance their current lifestyle.
And as far as that's concerned, just to kind of put it out there. And by the way, where's that accent? It's got to be East. Is it East Coast?
Massachusetts, Boston area.
Massachusetts, Boston. I should have easily been able to get that. What's the matter with me?
It's okay.
Okay,
It's been
so
about 10 years, so it's a little bit reduced.
all right. Well, we're doing the two man, the one man, one woman show here. I'm getting a little bit of shaking on your camera. I'm not sure if it's maybe something
It would
that's
be
okay. All right. Just something to be mindful of. So essentially, what you're saying is, providing connections, opportunities. Explain to me how, if I'm a veteran who's in need of something, and fill in the blank there, what is it that I should do that to allow you to help me with that thing?
sure. So we have two different ways it can happen. You could either contact us directly through our website, and we have a Get Connected form on our website, which is vetscommunityconnections.org, or they can contact us directly through our telephone line, which is 1-844 VET Connects, and it's CONX. What we do is when someone contacts us, we try to uncover what their initial request is by asking the basic who, what, when, where types of questions and learn about what their ultimate need would be. And then we make the recommendation based on what they're asking and try to help them find the resource or the opportunity or the connection to something that they may be interested in. The key to it, though, is 90% of the time, individuals who contact us may be coming to us for one opportunity, and we learn that there's other ways we can also assist them and connect them to more ways than one. So it's really just contact us, and then we do the rest of the work for them. Our resource database has over 600 members in there, and it's really a wealth of opportunity in there. I can tell you that we have been working really strongly with a lot of our fellow veteran service organizations, and we've been collaborating with others in order to make sure that if we're not able to fulfill a request, that we do have someone that we could turn the individual over to and recommend that they speak with in order to fulfill their request. The ultimate goal is to make sure that either they are helped by us or assisted by us, and if not us, then someone else can make sure that their request is taken care of.
Let me give you some examples, or let's do a couple hypotheticals. So, are we helping? I'm assuming we help a lot of people who are getting out, maybe transitioning out of the military.
Mhm.
Hey, I had a job, I had everything. Very, the nice thing about being in the military is everything is sort of what you get. There's a lot of
Yes.
known. There's some unknown. They could tell you to go here or there, but there's a lot of things that are known when it comes to the finance aspect of your career aspect. Your job, your rank, your pay. Those things are all very known. When you get out, you don't necessarily know what some of those things are. So I'm assuming, let's talk about transitioning veterans, people who are getting out. At what point in time, if I know I'm going to get out, how soon should I contact you to start getting some ideas about talking to people and looking at different opportunities for careers once I do get out?
Realistically, at least 2 years ahead of time.
Really?
That's the rule of thumb now that's being recommended, is at least 2 years ahead of time. And then working, there's really a timeline that people can work with. So 2 years out, start looking and planning at what your desires may be and your goal when you retire. Do you want to stay where you are? Or do you want to potentially move to a different location? What type of a career are you considering? Uh, a lot of individuals are, it's the belief that they want to do what they've been doing for 5, 10, 20 years within the military. The ultimate end of that, though, is they don't necessarily want to continue doing that type of a job. They'd like to look at something else. There's some type of a professional exhaustion per se. And when you come out of the military, maybe you did law enforcement for 20 years in your career. You want something else. You'd like something with a different opportunity for you. So what they need to do is really start to self-reflect and look internally of what their desires are, put them down on paper, and start exploring what may be there. Then start reaching out to those individuals like a VCC, Vets Community Connections, and asking us how they can go about beginning the process and who could they talk to. And we work with many organizations in San Diego who are able to assist with that transition process. One of the biggest things right now is this year, especially when a military member is transitioning out, it's key to be able to network with others. There's a lot of network opportunities in San Diego pre-COVID. And by doing that networking, you're leaning on others who have gone through the process. You're learning what their experience was, and you're gaining knowledge about how you can make that work for yourself. Now, when you have COVID here, that networking opportunity, especially right now, we seem to be back and forth as far as we're in restrictions, we're out of restrictions, and it's really been truly taken away. So what you need to do is try to explore how you can creatively look into that networking process and finding out where everybody is and what you can do to start that transition. So what we've done in response to a lot of the requests we've been receiving through our inbound callers is they were asking us early on what they can do to start the transition process, what opportunities are in San Diego, how could they potentially, if they were looking to gain an education versus go right into a career after the military, who could they look to? So we brought into in August, actually was our first one. We brought it around and we started these 1 hour webinars, and we opened up careers in the community. And what we do is we feature various educational or professional opportunities in San Diego to learn. We have presenters come in, and the individuals who attend learn about whether it's how to get hired, how to write your resume, what's being looked for on a resume, how to set themselves apart in order to get the interview over somebody else who may have the same skills on the resume, what's their soft skills. And then in relation to education opportunities, we are giving them information about how to pursue an education through the various veteran and military friendly universities here in San Diego on a very low cost budget, and how to maximize their benefits that they've earned and they're entitled to.
So let me ask you a question. So
Sure.
just to get, so for people who aren't going to be 2 years ahead, right, of the game, let's say, I'm getting out in 3 months. I don't know what I'm going to do. And by the way, we have, this is Amy Richards on the show right now, program manager, Vets Community Connections. It's vetscommunityconnections.org. She is a hidden hero, a spouse of a veteran. And, we're trying to help find opportunities. And I think this is really crucial because a lot of people don't know. Let me ask you this, first of all, specifically,
Sure.
like real estate. A lot of veterans reach out to me and say, hey, I want to get involved in real estate. I want to get my real estate license, or I want to talk about doing mortgage license. I've actually thought about holding classes like that just to get very real with people and say, okay, you want to be in real estate? Here's how you would do it. Here's how you would get started. Here's how the licensing works. It sounds like that's kind of what you're doing kind of across the board with the different opportunities. Is your step a step for someone who really is like, just has no idea where to start? Or is it for, people who also are good at networking on their own and maybe have some connections to be able to take that to the next level?
It's both sides of the coin. It's really for anybody at any stage. And it's not only just for the veterans and the military members that may be transitioning, it's actually also for their caregivers and spouses. So we really want to encompass anyone who is military or service connected to have the opportunity to learn about what they could do to help themselves. I know, when COVID took place and began to take a grip of everything back in March, a lot of individuals lost their jobs or were laid off and had been told that there'd be opportunity to come back, but no one ever seems to know. You could go back. There's a lot of individuals in the service industry right now or in various office and professional settings who may have gone back and then they were put back out of work again. So what we really want to do is capture everyone and just share the awareness of what could be there. The other side of this too is really opening up opportunity to learn about what your passion may be. So if you were in a particular career, and this absolutely applies to the military members, if you were in a particular career and you had not considered what else you could be doing, by coming to our and attending our webinars over Zoom, you're learning about what may be there, and it could spark interest. It could open up opportunity or open up a door that you may not have considered. And it's really just that's what our goal is: give you the awareness of what may be there and what you could consider and how to get to that point.
Unmute myself. So yeah, trying to do all the production here. It's fun. But by the way, thank you for coming on the show today. Because this is something that it's a big deal to me to try to help make sure that people feel good about what they're doing. There's a difference between, making a living. People say that earning a living, you have to earn a living, you have to earn a living. That's not really what it should be about. And especially someone who's dedicated themselves to the country, they've served, they've put their neck out there for us. Hey, okay, well, we should at least try somewhere. Somebody should be trying to help. And I know there's more programs now. There's more programs for doing internships as you're on your way out. Do you help guide people through some of those things? Like, hey, okay, maybe I did come to you a year out, or 2 years out, like you recommended would be ideal. Does that give me opportunities to do some of those things and utilize some of those programs that are in place that a lot of people who are active don't even know about?
Absolutely. So it's really important to understand that how we have our team in place for Vets Community Connections. And the reason I stress that is because we have the knowledge and the ability to truly guide you. So myself, I'm an active duty spouse. My husband's been active duty for 25 years. So we've been here, there, and everywhere. And I've started at one point and I've had many steps in between from being an early on spouse to here where I am now. Our connections coordinator, who receives the majority of the inbound requests for connections, she is a retired Navy chief. She was 20 years active duty. She now is also a retiree spouse herself also. So between herself and her spouse, they have multiple years of experience active duty. We also have another staff member who herself, her husband is also Navy active duty. So we understand what is coming into us as a request, and we really can put ourselves in their position and pursue what would be best for an individual who's contacting us and what they may need. And then again, it's back to the collaboration within San Diego. San Diego County is one of my favorite duty stations because San Diego is so supportive of military and veteran members that there's so many programs and opportunities and organizations here that are looking to support and give back, that if we're not able to assist with preparation and guide them, or we give them what we have the availability to give them, we can also connect them to the other programs. I meet consistently on a regular basis with a lot of the other leaders within the Veteran Service Organization. We are members of the San Diego Veterans Coalition. I just joined as a coordinating council member for the San Diego Military Family Collaborative. So we're touching all of the areas and points of necessity to make sure that we're here and truly able to embrace everything that anyone is contacting us to be connected to and provide it back.
Tremendous stuff. And this is Amy Richards here with vetscommunityconnections.org. If you want to check it out, if you want to reach out and find out what's going on there, obviously, drop a comment as well. We're live right now on Facebook. If you want to drop a comment, say hi, or another resource, or you've had an experience, let us know what you're thinking, what's going on, and where help can be given. I've just been looking at it from a real estate perspective or mortgage perspective, that industry. Hey, how can I help veterans who want to get into this business? Because there's a lot of them who do. They want to get out and they want to do something where they can
Mhm.
really have good earning potential, where they can use good work ethic, to do well for themselves and their family. And that's just one little thing. There's so many different interests, and I do think you should be able to do something that you love. Everybody. There's plenty of ways to make money. You should be able to do something that you really enjoy doing. So having someone to help you with that is so huge. I mean, I can't express how important that is and how helpful that is, Amy, to have you or have someone there who you can look to and go, all right, hey, help me find a nook and cranny that I don't know exists. Help me get an introduction to someone I don't even know exists that can maybe put me on that right path. Because that is one of the things that is the most difficult. One of the things I've been very blessed to be able to do for people for many years now, decades, is to have connections and to know people and to be able to connect people. And it's really, really cool that you're doing that right now and helping veterans find good careers. And if they can't get to, let's say someone's out, maybe they're out already. I want to go through some of these examples I think people might actually live through. So I'm out. I got the DoD job, or I got the job I was supposed to get. That's the same thing I was doing in the military, but I get paid 1.75 times as much or whatever. And maybe I don't love it. So maybe there a spot in what you do for people who maybe have found a career, but they want to find something else. So they maybe already have a job, but they want to try to find something they love through you. Is that something that you see as well?
Yes, we have access to individuals that can talk to a member through what they're currently doing and really help them understand if that's what they should be doing. My best advice, just in general, and this would apply to whether you're a military or a veteran member, or you're an individual in general, just in the working world, the professional world. Don't chase the money. Look for something that will make you happy and build on that. If you're not happy and you're only there focusing on what you could earn and what the money is going to give to you, I don't see success in that. What I see is you'll end up hopping job to job and you will not find where you feel comfortable and you won't grow as well as you could thrive within something that makes you happy. So we do have individuals, several of our advisory and board of directors have stepped forward, and we are able to connect individuals with them, and they've talked them through whether it's learning how to start a nonprofit or potentially we have partners over at Deloitte, and they've talked to them about what the career could be over at Deloitte. We work closely with QVets at Qualcomm. One of our advisory board members is a member of QVets, and he is part of Qualcomm. And so we really do work with whatever the veteran needs. And again, it's that far-reaching community that we collaborate with on a consistent basis that we could connect them to and really just ask them to give them insight and knowledge about what their career is and help the veteran or the military member or the spouse caregiver learn if that might be something they'd like to do. I think it's critical and important for anyone who's pursuing a career to really hear what the career is about. If you do it based on what your belief may be without the research, your belief may be a bit skewed and it may not end up to make you as happy as you thought it would.
It's a great point. And naming names there. I like that. We want to hear that. Hey, I have a connection to Qualcomm. I have a connection here. That see, those are good things for people to know because this isn't a smoke and mirrors situation.
Right.
There's real connections out there. You mentioned something earlier too about San Diego being very veteran friendly. Yeah, I feel so safe living in San Diego. Seriously, what a hard target this is. I mean, of all the places, I remember when I moved here from Missouri, my family was like, "It's so close to the border. It's so dangerous." It's like I don't
Right.
think you understand what this
Not that
place is.
bad.
And so, and fortunately, the community has embraced the military and does provide a tremendous amount of different incentives and opportunities for people in the military, which is great. It's tremendous. And so it's great that there's opportunities like that out there. I just think having a place to go where people can get a broader scope instead of having to pick every needle out of all these different haystacks, go to a place where there's nothing but needles,
Right.
and see what's there. That's a really, really cool thing that you guys are doing. I was going to ask you, hey, what are some of your like best tips? And I think you ran through some, so I'm going to throw it at you. What's your number one tip, like for people who are in this spot, we're looking for a new career or looking for a change coming out of the military? And you mentioned also something about spouses. That's a very big deal. Who and we call them hidden heroes, because you kind of don't see them. You usually see the person who wears a uniform, but they'll tell you, the person in the uniform will tell you, yeah, person holding it down at home for us is a big, big deal. So talk about those things and maybe give me a good tip if you got one.
Sure. I can tell you as a military spouse, and for all military spouses, do not hesitate to share the fact that you are a military spouse when you are applying for a job. Embrace your diversity and your experiences and your resilience. Your resilience is tremendous. And we, as you said, we hold down the fort. Um, there's a lot that happens behind the scenes that may not be as aware. And then also, a lot of times individuals will apply to a job and they'll be concerned that if they put down that they're military, somehow military connected, that it may prevent them from receiving even an interview or being considered for a position because they may not be here long term. But I want to just share that I have experience as a recruiter, and there is historically a lot of individuals now, just in general in professional settings, don't stay long term at a job. So don't be too concerned if you're at a duty station and you just arrive somewhere and you have a 3 or 4 year assignment there, that your spouse's career could prevent you from accepting a position with a company because you may not be there beyond 3 years. Some individuals only stay with a company if they're a strictly civilian and they're not anywhere military connected, and they may not stay with a company beyond a year. So embrace who you are, embrace your experiences and your diversity that you could bring. I can tell you a lot of what I have had for careers and jobs in the past. Like I mentioned, I was a recruiter. I actually have worked on construction sites as a security, home theater, and fire alarm system design individual in new construction and commercial properties. I actually was a school secretary at our last duty station. We were up in Alaska. Um, I've seen a lot and I've done a lot, and what my abilities and my skills have done is brought me to be diverse and adaptable. And that's where all of these military spouses are. We are diverse and we are adaptable and we can do anything. So be proud and strong about that. In relation to anyone in general, my advice when you are applying for a job, do not send your resume out to hundreds of places. Or especially if you're applying to, say, we'll use Sony, for example. If you're submitting an application into Sony, and you went into their job board and you saw multiple positions open, multiple various positions that are not related. The key, though, you may want to just get a job at Sony. But the thing to understand is if you send your resume into 30 different positions within Sony, unrelated positions, and you use the same resume to everything, they will know. And they'll just see you just throwing your hat into the ring and hoping for the best, or throwing the spaghetti on the wall and hoping something sticks. That's not going to help you. Be strategic in your approach. And as a recruiter may see your resume come through for that particular position you may have applied to, specific to the role you tailored your resume to, because that's also key and critical. Make sure your resume applies specifically to any position you're applying for. When your resume comes across to a particular recruiter, they may feel that you're not right for that position, but someone else that they work with in their recruiting team or recruiting department or HR team may have something that they could potentially put you into, and they'll share your resume with someone else, one of their coworkers. So if you just throw it in there and do it multiple times across the board in a company, they'll see that and they may not see it as a lot of effort versus taking the time to tailor make your approach to your career search.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well. In fact, like my number one piece of advice is always to go after the job that you want, not the one that's open.
Yes.
Because everyone is going through the one that's open, right? All the listings on Craigslist or Hot Jobs or whatever people are using, that's the front door, and that there's usually a line there. Go to the place where you want to work. They may not have an opening yet, but let them know that I want
Yeah.
to work here, and tell them that you've been thinking about it. It's your dream. This is where I want to be. This is what I want to do, and that goes a long way, especially if they don't have a job opening posted. They're not getting tons of resumes. So now you've really stuck yourself out and said, I'm the only person. So who's here today and who's going to be here this week saying that I want a job here. And I think that can go really a long way for people. I've had a lot of success with that personally and advising people to do that myself. But I can't thank you enough, Amy, first of all, for taking the time to come on today and then just for doing what you do. Really appreciate it, and your role as a hidden hero is not there on our list as well. What would we do without you in those positions? Thank you so much for what you do. VetsCommunityConnections.org, folks. That's a place where you can get more information. Also, Amy at vccsandiego.org. I'll have all that information up on the post and on the YouTube description for you, so you can reach out, find out what's available. There's more out there than you think, and what an awesome helping hand to have. Amy, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Derrick. Can I just throw one more thing out there?
Please.
We have our January Careers in the Community webinar next Tuesday morning, the 19th at 10 a.m. And we will be featuring Hewlett Packard, HP, and then also Hire Heroes USA, talking to the various opportunities that they can assist with. So
Ooh.
please sign up, contact us, and let us know how we can get you signed up.
Terrific. Yeah, if you have a link for that or anything like a landing page for that at all, shoot that to me and I'll make sure that it's in these posts as they're getting put out on YouTube and Facebook and the different pages and stuff today.
Will do.
Awesome. And hey, please share this with your friends and make sure you let the veterans in your life know that there are career opportunities out there and there are people who are willing to make the connections. VetsCommunityConnections.org. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Derrick.